Welcome to Bluegrass Home and Garden TV. Bluegrass Home and Garden TV is brought to you by Jimmy Nash Homes, Comfort Heating and Air, Springhouse Gardens, Back Construction, Dinger's Hearth Patio and Grill, and by Buyer's Paradise Furniture. Join us now for Bluegrass Home and Garden TV with Amber Canoy.
Well, we talked about rain gardens, and now we're actually answering some viewers' questions. And Richard, we have just been overwhelmed with the amount of rose questions. So I'm just going to give you a couple of them here. I've got mine in my hair. Naomi from Pikeville, wants to know if there is a certain number of sunshine hours it's too many, or about fertilizers,
right,
to keep their blooms. Rita from Waynesburg, is asking, is it okay to dig them out, rose bushes, knockouts, and replant them? There's more. We've got Pamela from Manchester asking, is it okay to cut them back even after they've bloomed in the spring and summer? And then we've got those questions from like Karen in Paris, who's just wants to know how she can have the most beautiful roses.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, one of the easiest ways to get roses is to use a variety of roses called knockout roses.
And we love them.
And they are probably the #1 best-selling landscape plant in the past 10 years. And it's because they are easy.
They are easy.
Traditional roses like hybrid teas and grandiflors and all that aren't the easiest things in the world to grow. So that's why I think they have a stigma that people think that they're just so hard.
Yeah.
To answer some of the questions, you can't give a rose too much sun.
Okay.
They really like a full sun situation. More commonly, the questions that we get is, how few hours of sun can I get a rose to grow in an area where I only get 2 hours of sunlight? It's really hard to get roses to bloom if you don't get at least 4 hours of direct sun a day.
And I've got a couple of those in my house. It's drastic. They were all planted at the same time, right, but given the amount of sun each of them have gotten, drastic difference on the size.
Right, and it's not that they won't grow, they just won't produce as many blooms with small amounts of sunlight. So try to give them at least a half a day of good direct sun, and usually the mid-afternoon sun is preferred, like from 11 to 3 would be really ideal for
when they're telling all of us to stay out of the sun.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
The roses would be very
Roses
happy.
love it.
So we've had a lot of questions about what to do and how to plant them, so make sure you give them lots of sun, and they need well-drained soil.
Okay.
There are a few roses that will take kind of damp and soggy soils, but as a general rule, they're going to want well-drained, good loamy soil. And if you use things like these knockouts, which we've got these beautiful double knockouts here, there are about 6 different types of knockout roses. The double red, which looks so nice behind your ear there. There's a double pink that looks about like this in terms of size of flowers, but with a good medium pink. There's a pale pink called a blushing knockout. There's a yellow knockout called the sunny knockout. There's actually a white rose. It's not officially a knockout, but most people consider it a white knockout.
All right, and then what do we have here?
Now, this is a different family of roses called Easy Elegance, and the reason these have become very popular is they're as easy to grow as a knockout, but you get them in all different colors. This one is called All the Rage. This one is called Yellow Brick Road. And a lot of these Easy Elegance roses will stay much smaller and give you a wider range of color choices and bloom types than the knockouts, because a knockout unattended will get up about 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that myself.
Knockouts are a little tough to keep small.
All right.
And if you're using knockouts, you don't really have to do a bunch of extra fertilizer, but if you do want to increase their vigor, use something like Rose Tone.
Okay.
Use that by label directions. Once in the early spring and probably again midsummer would be good around here. You don't need to over-fertilize any of these landscape type roses. And do your pruning, as we talked about several weeks ago, do that in March.
Okay.
Do the trimming back and cutting back.
And if they possibly still have questions out there about rose bushes, they can contact you directly.
We always have questions about roses. Come out to Springhouse or give us a call. Our garden center number is 224-1417. We're out Harrodsburg Road, about 4 miles from Mount War Boulevard.